Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. I'm Biola Lavi.
I'm Tundra Biola.
I'm Veronica Odeka. Welcome back. In the wake of last weekend's presidential and National Assembly polls, political parties have started to re-strategize towards the second phase of the general election. Still basking in the euphoria of their victory in those elections, President Muhammadu Buhari and his party, the All Progressive Congress, are now looking to consolidate on their electoral gains in the forthcoming governorship and state assemblies polls scheduled for March the 9th, 2019. And to tell us more about the party's strengths and to reach going into those polls, we have now been joined by the National Auditor of APC and a former governorship aspirant in Anambra State, Chief George Moghalu from our Abuja studios. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Good morning, sir. We wanted to start out by getting your impression of the presidential and National Assembly elections, especially regarding the violence, the accusations of vote tampering, and the disenfranchisement of the electorate, and also due to the postponement. What is your general takeaway, and also the fact that we had such low voter turnout and going into the governorship elections? What are sort of your feelings about what to expect next week?
Oh, well, the truth is that I wouldn't totally agree with you that the turnout was very low, though it would have expected to be more. The elections have come and gone. For us, it was quite a credible, free, fair election that took place last 2 Saturdays. The truth is that for every election, there's still room for improvement. Like I keep saying, elections are part of a democratic process that will continue, that is expected to improve as time goes on. There are shortfalls, there are challenges, which even INEC has acknowledged, the political parties themselves have acknowledged. But I expect that as we get along, that there will be improvement with the days ahead. On the issue of violence, everybody feels very bad about it. And if you remember when Mr. President spoke, even before the election, he was very concerned about violence. And when he made a comment as to giving the security agencies the strength to be able to deal with the issue of violence, some people misunderstood him. But these are cases that we are concerned about. So for us, it's a very bad spot in the white garment of the electoral process. So everything has to be done. I'm sure that every Nigerian is concerned about it. And we extend our sympathies to the loved ones of those who lost their lives in the process. But it's most unfortunate and sincerely very regrettable.
Sir, you said that there wasn't low voter turnout. With 30% of qualified voters voting, I would say that is quite low. Could you tell us why you do not think that is a low turnout?
No, I didn't say that the turnout wasn't low. All of us would have expected that we have 100% turnout, and that's what we've been working on. And that's why everybody went on the street trying to convince their supporters to be at the poll and then be able to exercise their franchise. But however, if you look at it vis-a-vis what happened the last time with regards to the 2015 elections, you will see that it's not terribly low, but would have wished it's better.
Okay, it looks like there is a downward trend that is not abating, and I think I would love to know what you and your party are doing about that.
Yes, the postponement, if you remember, certainly had played its own part in frustrating some people who could not, especially those who traveled far distances from the areas of residency to go and vote in places where they registered. That also played its own part in reducing the turnout. Because if you look at what happened before the election, there was greater enthusiasm than what turned out to be on a Saturday. But as to voter turnout, what we need to do, like us, every other political party, even agencies of government, is to continue our campaign on the issue of voter education, encouraging people, letting them understand the importance of getting involved in electoral processes like that, so that we can have greater enthusiasm, have greater commitment. But I'm hopeful that the elections of next Saturday certainly, most likely, will have a greater turnout, because there's a little more time and people are conscious of their commitment. And more so, the positions being contested now are a little bit more localized than what happened in the past election. Because now we're talking about the governors, we're talking about members of the houses of various houses of assembly. So it's a little more localized. So I expect that there will be more enthusiasm, there will be more voter turnout.
Thank you.
Okay. So would you say that given the results of the presidential election, that the views are that even though President Muhammadu Buhari won at the polls, there was a lot of mixed feelings in the court of public opinion, or would you say that it was a win-win in both?
It's not about a court of public opinion. The truth is that it depends on the public you are talking about. Is it the public of the party that won the election, or is it the public of the party that lost the election? So when you talk to either of the publics, certainly your reaction, the responses you will get will certainly be different. But here it's about this nation. It's about Nigeria. So for me, Nigeria is the winner. It's not about President Buhari. It's not about anybody. Like I said to a few people who asked me questions a few days ago, I told them that what happened in this election is that it was like a referendum on the issue of integrity. Nigerians had the opportunity to talk about the integrity of the man who they have given responsibility to run the affair of this country in the past 4 years, and then they had the opportunity again to assess him based on his performance, and then renewed his mandate. So it's a win-win situation for Nigeria, and that's the most important thing. Whether you participated, the important thing is that everybody participated, and participation for me makes everybody a winner. Thereafter, somebody, like it's only one person that will emerge president after every election, one person that will emerge a winner after every election. But above all, the important thing here is that Nigeria is our common project. Nigeria is of interest to each and every one of us, and Nigeria is the winner at the end of the day.
Indeed. The president is nowhere on the record before, during, or after the already held elections as having reached out to the opposition. He did make a sort of gesture towards the opposition parties during his speech, congratulating them on their hard-fought campaign, but that was about it. How would you place that side by side with his recent statement about reuniting the nation? And also, in your recent comments, you took quite a conciliatory approach to the opposition. However, the PDP has not accepted that olive branch extended by yourself and other members of the APC. They're going ahead to challenge the results of the election in court. What is your view on this?
The truth about it is that the decision to challenge any election in court is actually for the person directly involved to make. It's about PDP making their decision. It's not about me this time around. Neither is it about the president. But the president, as the father of the nation, has come out to present an olive branch, like also the party did. You see, the important thing here is that we must conclude with the election and move over to governance. After every election, governance begins. The truth is that the president is the father of this nation. The president is the leader of this nation. So it's expected of him, of which he has demonstrated it, to present or offer an olive branch to everybody who participated in the election. He has started by commending them. Like everybody acknowledges that it was a hard-fought election. The opposition did their best, like we also did our best. And then everybody presented their positions to the Nigerian electorate that eventually decided to place their confidence with us and the president in particular. So for us, it's not about winning the election. It's not a war. It's an election. It's a game. The important thing here is that we presented ourselves. They presented themselves. But the important thing is that everybody is offering to serve Nigeria. So Nigeria certainly is the winner. So what we are trying to do is to create an enabling environment for everybody to participate, because Nigeria is the common project. If you're sincerely committed to the development of this country, if you're sincerely committed to the well-being of the citizenry of this country, I don't see why you will not accept an olive branch. However, the issue of going to court is expected in a democracy, because that is where you will go if you feel there are infringements or things that didn't go the way you wanted them to go. It's your choice to make, but my advice will be that we should put this election behind and move ahead to the issue of governance.
Okay. I want to just shift gears a little bit, especially now that you've had time to review your strategy for the presidential election and going into the governorship and state assemblies election, and also the fact that your party yesterday announced the suspension of Governor Osun and Okorocha. How do you think that these suspensions and advice of expulsion is actually going to affect some of these states going into the governorship elections?
You know, yesterday, the National Public Secretary made it very clear, presented the situation exactly as it is. What has happened is that we have a process in the political party where disciplinary actions are taken against any person, no matter how highly placed, that we feel has not done what is right or has not represented the party properly. And that's exactly what has just happened. The party feels, the leadership of the party, of which I am one of those who took that decision, the party feels that the governors in question, not only governors, it was about 4 people that were suspended. The governor, the 2 governors, the minister, and the MD of NAN. That was the decision that was taken yesterday. What we are saying is that we have written queries, we have asked them to desist from what they are doing. We feel that we are APC and we have to work for APC. And anytime we feel that what should be done is not being done, we ask questions. And these questions were asked, queries were issued, and we're not satisfied with the responses where we had responses. So we had no option left than to take disciplinary action. And that is what is provided for in our Constitution once there is any infringement.
Do you believe that this suspension is going to affect the elections in those states?
Nobody can say because the question is futuristic. The election is still yet to come. But what we have done is that we need to bring discipline to the fore. And that is what we have done. We expect that the people of both states will understand in clear terms where the leadership of the party is standing. And they will want to erase any form of confusion, any form of distraction. The point is that we are APC. The point is that we expect every leader of APC to work for APC. And whatever it is APC all the way. So we have no hard and fast rule. The truth is that it is APC and we have to work for APC. So if you're not working with APC and for APC, then you are not supposed to be part of us.
Okay. All right.
Since we're on the conversation of the governorship primaries of your party across the ranks generated a lot of bad blood within the states of the Federation. How confident are you that the party has been able to manage the fallout in such a way as prevent a negative rebound during the forthcoming polls?
All right, like I've said in time past, APC is a human organization. And like every human organization, interests will clash. And that manifested during the primaries. Interests had to clash because you're dealing with human beings who have ambitions. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I think we have come to terms with the fact that we are through with the primaries. And we have candidates who are running these elections across the states that elections will take place on Saturday, the 9th of March. So we are confident and we are working hard. The campaigns are still on. We have been working hard, laying stronger emphasis on the issue of the presidential elections. Now that we are through with the presidential elections, we are now faced with the governorship and House of Assembly elections. So we are continuing with our campaigns at all at the various states and constituencies. We are working hard. We are confident that Nigerians will trust us again and give us the opportunity to serve them. We have presented credible candidates across the country. Whatever it is, wherever they had disagreements, we have been able to reconcile them to make sure that we go into this election as a united party. And I will also appeal to anybody who feels injured. Power belongs to God, and He gives to whom He pleases at His own time. If it is not now, it could be tomorrow. Some of us are involved in the process. If it's not now, it could be tomorrow. but leave it that God's time is the best. So my appeal is that those who feel that they did not get the tickets, now, let them wait. If it is not today, it certainly will be tomorrow by the grace of God.
So I'm going to stay on that topic and also look at the shift in balance of power, if you like, between APC and PDP, as well as some of those credible candidates that you're presenting. So judging by the results of the presidential and National Assembly elections, you can see an increasing erosion of support for your party in its traditional stronghold of the Southwest. For instance, Ondo and Oyo states. How is this fact being treated by the party? Apart from, well, you have a little measure that we've just observed that has been reported that Alao Akala, former Governor Alao Akala of Oyo State, has stepped down and is supporting the APC candidate, Chief Bayo Adelabu. But is this enough to combat the forces of PDP, Sheyi Makinde, and former Governor Rashid Ladoja?
Oh, well, the political decisions and actions is not cast in iron. And a lot of things will still be playing out until the eve, in fact, until the voting starts on the 9th of March. I'm happy that His Excellency Allah Akala has stepped down and endorsed and is supporting our candidate. That is quite a welcome development, and we're excited about it. And the thing you must understand is that the dynamics for a presidential election is entirely different from the dynamics when it has to do with the governorship election and houses of assembly election in the various states, because the issues at stake vary. The issues at stake vary. So I am not looking at the presidential election now. I'm looking, and every leader of APC is focused on the state governorship election and the state houses of assembly. And I am very, very confident, believing that by the grace of God, that we are going to come out tops. I'm comfortable.
Are you confident about your position?
Good candidates, we are working hard.
Are you confident about your position in Osun State, where your candidate, Akwa Ibom, has a looming court judgment on March 8th, and has, as Biola referred to earlier, you had to contend with the suspension of the governor of Osun State, who fielded or is supporting a candidate from APM, Akinlade, and then you also have PDP's threat with under the ticket of Buruji Kashamu, Ruben Abati. What are your hopes for Osun State?
When you look at, if you want to talk about Osun State precisely, I wouldn't like to talk about the issue of court, because that will be prejudicial until the issue is sorted out. So, but when you look at the electoral dynamics, if you look at the presidential election and the seats that we won, that will give you an insight to the fact that we are on ground there. Whatever the anger may be, whatever the disappointments may be, I am still confident that at the end of the day, if we both of us talk on Sunday, the 10th of March, I'm sure you will understand clearly about what I'm saying now, that I'm confident that at the end of the day, in Osun State, we are going to come out tops. APC will win the election by the grace of God, because we have the support base which we are building on.
How confident are you about the prospects of Mr. Ekere, your candidate in Akwa Ibom? A lot was made of the defection of Senator Godswill Akpabio, but you also are contending against the power of an incumbent governor in Akwa Ibom.
Yes, issue of incumbency has long been demystified in Nigeria, because an incumbent president has lost the election before in this country. Incumbent governors have lost the election before in this country. So about incumbency, I'm not bothered so much about incumbency. I am looking at the election based on the candidates, based on their capacity, their ability, and their support base, based on what we are presenting to the Nigerian electorate in those states. So I'm confident that Ekere is going to do well in the elections. Very confident.
Well, staying on this issue, we're going to ask you also about the peculiarity of the case of Imo State, where the governor has expressly declared support for his son-in-law, who is a candidate of another party. Once again, what is APC expecting to happen in Anambra? In Imo State, sorry.
The decision as to who is going to be governor of Imo State certainly is for the Imo-lites to make. It is not about me to make, but I am confident that we have a candidate who is running on the platform of APC. Whether the governor he has a right to have his choice, but that's why we said for us as a party, it is APC. We have no alliances with anybody. We have no arrangement with any other political party. What we are saying is that for us in Imo State, APC has a candidate in the person of Senator Hope Uzodinma, and we are taking him to the election. He's the candidate. We have sent his name to the Independent National Electoral Commission, and is the candidate of the party, the candidate we are presenting. And we are confident that the Imo people will trust us to give us an opportunity to run the affairs of that state, to consolidate on what has been done. I am confident that Hope Uzodinma will emerge victorious at the end of the day.
How do you feel the role of the chairman of APC and the combative nature of your chairman has been a contributing fact in a lot of these dissenting interests when it comes from APC stalwarts and them backing different candidates of different parties? This is happening multiple times in your party. What do you think has been the cause of this, and how do you think the chairman has contributed to a lot of this dissent?
Oh, well, no, without even offering a defense for the chairman, I can tell you he made no contribution. Everybody has his own style of administration, and I don't see anything wrong with the position he has taken with regards to these states. If you say that his combative nature is what the reason for the problems we have in 2 states, what happened to the other 27 states or 29 states that will contest the election? So if his combative nature is agreeable to 27 or 29 states, and then is not acceptable to 2 states, then he's still in the majority. He has a style, and that style has been working for him, and for me, I have no problem with that. He took a position, and it is not about him. The decision as to the candidates for Imo or Ogun State or any other place is not about the national chairman. It is a decision of the National Working Committee, of which he is the head. We discuss these things. We take contributions from members before we come to final decision on any candidate. So it is not about the chairman now. It is about the National Working Committee and the position we took. And let me put it very clear. Before we take any position on any matter, we weigh the options. We weigh information that is available to us, which may not be available to you. And you'll be seeing it strictly from the perspective of an onlooker. But the truth is that we are insiders when it has to do with taking decision as to a candidacy. And that is what has happened. It's not about the national chairman as a person.
Okay. Just a little bit about, as we go into these elections next week, what assurance is your party and commitment your party willing to give on security as we go to the polls, especially in some of these states that will be problematic? So what extra security are you taking, and what statements and what are you doing as a state, as a party, to make sure that in states like in Ogun State, in Imo State, that there is no violence at the polls?
For us as a party, we are not responsible for security. That is very clear. We're also part of.
You're not responsible for security, Sorry. Let me jump in. You're not responsible for security, but you're responsible for your language leading up to the elections, and that's what I'm asking you about. What language and commitment is your party making to make sure? If you're
talking about language, we have consistently been preaching. We have consistently been preaching peace. We want peace. We want a violence-free election. And we're encouraging, let me also use the opportunity again to appeal to the security agencies to do their best to ensure that we have a violent-free environment so that Nigerians can exercise their franchise. That is our prayer, that is the effort we are making, and that is the appeal we have consistently made. Yesterday when Mr. Chairman spoke to the press, he talked about the same thing, appealing for peace. You see, we need a violence-free environment for us to express ourselves, for Nigerians to make their choices. It is not about anybody, it's about the people. They need to make their choices, they need to get ready, take their PVC, go to their individual polling units and vote. At the end of the day, after the voting, the votes will count. And that is what we want as a political party. And we are sticking to it, we are making the appeal. Let me also re-emphasize this to the security agencies. Please, whatever you can do, place Nigeria first. Help us to provide a violence-free environment so that at the end of the day, everybody will be happy. And then we have a free, fair, credible elections.
All right.
We want to know, why has your party, APC, refused to take responsibility for the violence that affected the first batch of elections?
Why would we take responsibility for what we know nothing about? were also victims. Are we members of the police force? Are we members of the armed forces? Are we those who are hiring thugs to disrupt elections? Why are we going to take responsibility for what we know nothing about? But you were also in this country when Mr. President raised the issue of dealing squarely with those who are going to cause violence. And some people said that he was threatening the Nigerian society. You are here.
Okay. Sir, I know what you are saying when you say you're not responsible for security, but actually you are responsible for security because the incumbent is APC, and the president had a lot of warning from international and local authorities saying that there was going to be violence, and therefore it almost feels that there was not adequate security measures taken against to prepare for these elections. That is where we're saying that at the end of the day, the president and the incumbent government that is still responsible for security have not taken any responsibility for the fact that there was violence during these elections.
You must understand that the President Muhammadu Buhari is president of Nigeria, not president of APC.
He's president of Nigeria, but he is at APC. He is at APC.
Yes. Fine. I agree with you. I agree with you to the extent that he's of APC extraction. But still, the same fact remains that he's president of Nigeria. And if you recall, when he spoke at the National Caucus, probably he has information that is not available to us, which you expect. He warned, he gave the security agencies the mandate, the authority to exercise full force to ensure that there is safety of lives and property in the course of this election, to erase any altar of violence. You were also in this country where people started complaining that he is threatening them, that he is giving order to shoot aside, because he may have information that both myself and yourself do not have because of the position he's occupying. So he's conscious of this fact, he's aware, and he's determined to ensure that we have a free, fair, credible elections in an environment free of violence. If there's anything I can say authoritatively, if there's any legacy I know the president wants to leave, he wants to leave the legacy of a free, fair, credible election. And you cannot have this free, fair, credible election without a secure environment.
Okay, I want to talk about Anambra State. Now, the governor basically worked for the victory of President Buhari. How would you assess the gains your party made as a result of this collaboration in the Southeast?
Oh, well, the truth about it is that we didn't really do the best we can. That is the truth. We didn't get the results we desired. That is the truth. But quite all right, it's still an improvement on what happened in 2015. So what we need to do as a people is to continue to talk to our people. We must read the political dynamics. We must see what we will do to be part of the national polity. We must make effort towards that direction. But certainly what happened is an improvement of what happened in 2015, but we have not achieved our desired, our set target.
Now, you're the national auditor of your party. It would be interesting to know what you think about the furore surrounding campaign financing and accountability issues within political parties, and also your views on INEC's recently inaugurated Campaign Finance Monitoring Multi-Agency Committee, which includes EFCC, FIRS, the Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, a broad range of agencies, and with a promise to clamp down on violations on the provisions of the Electoral Act, such that whoever spends or whatever party spends more than 1 billion naira for presidential elections, 200 million for governorship elections, is liable to a fine or 12 months imprisonment.
For me, it's a very welcome development. If there's anything we can do to de-emphasize monetizing the process, that would be very welcome. So the decision INEC took by setting and putting in place that committee is very much welcome. We want to see a situation where elections are the cost of elections are reduced to the barest minimum. So it's a very welcome development, and anything we can do as a party, as individuals to support the INEC in that process, certainly we will do. In our party, we have always emphasized that. We try to restrict ourselves within the confines of the law. That I can assure you. We make effort towards that. We talk to our candidates, we explain. You see, you don't have to buy the process. And more so, you don't need to buy the process. You need to offer other things that the people will look at and consider your candidacy and see the basis for your support. So I am totally in support of it, and I know the party is in support of it.
But yet, money remains a factor. Let's look at the race for Lagos State between the two forerunners, Babajide Sanwo-Olu of your party, APC, who was harshly criticized by his opponent from PDP, Jimmy Agbaje, about his sharing of rice to civil servants. What is your view on this? Well, PDP and other opposition members and members of the public thought that cheapened the political process and the whole bullion van controversy in Lagos APC. What is your view of this?
I see that more like a joke. In front of my house, and it's credited to me. So we don't have empty bullion vans that drive around. That may be surprising because I'm sure that the door of the bullion van did not open and money starts falling out. Supposing somebody who lives in my residence is a driver to any bank and comes home with the bullion van, so that implies that the bullion van came back to my house with money. For me, it's a joke. And in the political sphere, in campaigns like this, everything is said. Everybody wants to win whatever advantage you can. So in that process, anything can be said.
So you're denying or dismissing even allegations of vote buying?
No, I'm not dismissing the allegations of vote buying, but you have to prove it, because he who alleges has to prove. If you say there was vote buying, please prove it, and then the law will take its course.
So what is your view on the race in Lagos? Also, we've talked about violence and insecurity surrounding the polls, the presidential and National Assembly polls. In Lagos, there were some scenes whereby non-indigenous population was intimidated and prevented from exercising their franchise. And it's raising a lot of ethnic tensions in Lagos State, which is a melting pot. It's most unfortunate. What is your view on this?
My view is that the campaigns are still on. We are campaigning. We have a good candidate in Lagos. Babajide Sanwo-Olu is a very good candidate. We are doing everything to continue to market him to the Lagos electorate for them to support him at the elections. We have confidence in him, and we are doing everything to ensure that he wins. We are going from houses to talk to people and convince them on the need to give him support so that he can build on what our performing governor, Ambode, has done in the state. So we are confident about our coming out tops in Lagos. However, you see, politics is about interest. When interests clash, tensions rise. So it is incumbent on us, the politicians, to tone down our rhetorics. It's incumbent on us politicians to try as much as possible. Yes, you want to win, but please let it be fair. Please let it be honest. Let it be decent. Talk to the people, sell yourself, sell your party's manifesto so that the people can buy into it. Once this is done, we must understand that it is not compulsory that you must win. There's no law that says you must win. If you offer yourself, then allow the people to make their choice. Because the information they have may be different from the information you have concerning you. So they will make their choice, and when they take their decision, please allow it to be the will of God. And once that happens, I think the polity will be a little more decent.
Thank you for that. I think one of the things we talked about earlier today was about President Buhari's victory, the fact that we had low voters turnout, and the fact that this mandate, although he has won, it is a weak mandate, which means the electorate is going to be watching and with high expectations. What can we expect from APC government in the three key areas of security, the economy, and anti-corruption? Can you give us a sense of what to expect from APC going forward?
The truth about it is that we made promises. The president said there's going to be consolidation on the promises that we have made on the issue, like you rightly observed, issue of security, issue of the economy, and issue of anti-corruption. And I can assure you, though not speaking for the president, but I can assure you confidently that we are going to build on these promises. And that is why we promise that we're going to take the nation to the next level of consolidation, level of expansion. So the issue of security, yes, emphasis will continue to be laid on it because we need to have a secure environment for our economy to grow. On the issue of the economy, doors are opening, and new frontiers are being opened. And then the extent we have gone, infrastructure development will consolidate on it. We have to build on it. The train lines will continue to be developed, and further commitments made. On the issue of anti-corruption, you all know that, like I said earlier when I started, is that this election that took place is more like a referendum on integrity. And we all know that Mr. President is somebody who is so concerned about the issue of corruption. And you and I know that if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill us. So every effort is being made to not only kill corruption, but to kill it permanently. So certainly, I expect, like most Nigerians do, that we're going to consolidate on the gains on security, the gains on the economy, the gains on the anti-corruption war.
When we talk about economy, one of the things that has riddled the Nigerian economy over the last 4 years is low growth rate. And people have said, and economists have projected, that if we are not growing at least 7%, Nigeria will continue to be in this dilapidated state of our economy. What are some of the APC's real concrete plans that they have for growing this economy from 2-point-something% into a 7% GDP?
If you look at it today, what you must give this government is that, one, they have strongly diversified this economy. Emphasis today is no more on the oil sector. Emphasis today, you find it on the non-oil sector.
But oil continues to be our biggest revenue earner.
There's no doubt about it. It has always been, and it has continued to be. But effort is being made to de-emphasize that. And that is why government is investing so much in agriculture. That is why government is investing so much in the solid mineral sector. If you look at, let's even take rice, for example. Today, we're almost going to be self-sufficient in rice production. So government is conscious of this fact, and government knows that we need to expand the economy, and that is what is happening. And in expanding this economy, as you develop and build on the infrastructural development, it has its own ripple effect on the economy. So government is conscious of this fact. I don't speak for government, but I am a Nigerian, and I live here. And I see the effort that is being made, sincere effort, to expand our economy. In the areas of agriculture, in the areas of solid mineral, that is not to say we ignore the oil sector, no. But what we are doing is that we want to open the frontiers so that, one, we can provide more employment opportunities, we can expand it to take care of ourselves, so that we have to produce what we need so that we become less dependent on importation.
Okay, let's take a look at your candidates up north. There was a lot of drama surrounding APC's campaigns at the state level in Zamfara State. APC is finally being allowed by the courts to field a candidate. INEC has accepted this. But do you feel disadvantaged because of the time that you lost in Zamfara State?
No. You see, while we are going through the process, the difficult times with regards to having our candidates in Zamfara, we did not stop campaigning, and government did not stop running. And if you look at the last presidential elections, what happened with regards to the National Assembly elections, that will tell you that APC is on ground in Zamfara State. Nobody can wish that away. So we have started from the moment the INEC accepted our candidates for the governorship and the Houses of Assembly election. We continued campaigns. And campaign, as I talk to you now, is still ongoing until probably on Friday.
And Adamawa State?
So we are okay.
Okay.
We are good to go.
Are you good to go in Adamawa State? Because as Veronica referred to earlier, there was some contentious party primaries. Adamawa was one of them. The emergence of Governor Jibrilla was contested by APC members, some of whom vowed to support opposition parties like Finitri of PDP and Senator Nyako. Has that been settled now?
Yeah, so we know our candidate in Adamawa State is Senator Jibrilla Bindo, and he has a track record that he's running on. He has a scorecard that the Adamawa people have seen, and I'm sure he's going to be assessed based on that scorecard. If he's done well, because I know he has done well, and the party knows he has done well. So we are confident that he's going to come out tops in the election, and he's campaigning. He's presenting himself to his people. I also know that, like I said earlier, APC, like every other human organization, has people there who have interests. And once interests clash, decisions can be taken, some can be based on the spur of the moment. But now when you sit back, you can weigh your options and see whether what you are doing or what you are trying to do is right. Then you can take a final decision. Yes, some people may have decided not to support Bindo, to support other candidates. So also some other people who left other parties are also coming over to support Bindo.
But then,
so it's a ding-dong thing. Some people are for Bindo, some are against Bindo, some people are against Bindo for the other candidates. But at the end of the day, the people of Adamawa will speak. On Saturday, they will come out en masse with their PVCs to make their choice. And my prayer is that let their choice be in our interest. That is my prayer, like any other person will say.
Well, last Saturday, they made their choice for PDP, so we shall see. Now, let's go to Anambra State. That's also another keenly contested race in the north with Makura and former Minister for Information under Goodluck Jonathan, Labaran Maku. What are the chances there?
Well, we have a good chance. We are very confident. You see, when you look at presidential elections, like I told you, the dynamics for a presidential election and a governorship election are slightly, if not clearly different. Because you're talking about the local dynamics, you're talking about the local politics, you're talking about local interests. It's different from a national interest. It's quite different when you look at the national picture. You're looking at the presidency that covers from Kano down to River State and things like that. But now we are talking about our state. We are talking about our houses of assembly. The areas of coverage are limited. So interests will change. Interests will vary. So for places like Nasarawa, I am confident. Like I told you about Adamawa, we're going to come out tops. If I talk with you on Sunday, after the elections on Saturday, you will agree with me at the end of the day.
All right. As I just wanted to come back to my last question to you, which is what to expect in this next APC dispensation. And one of the things we didn't get to talk about was actually security. You said consolidating on security. But this actually, APC's government, the last Buhari's presidency, has actually not been able to consolidate on any security gains. Leading up to the elections, we had multiple violence breakout in the north. We had stuff break out in the south. We had all the APC primaries have some sort of issues around security with them. But really, mostly for me, what's important is the fact that the Boko Haram and also Boko Haram has not subsided in this last administration as promised. And also what's really getting scary is that ISIS, West Africa, continues to strengthen and gain, and that's why we've seen more violence. When it comes to security, being that this was one of your key campaign promises, what is your plan as a party to consolidate and actually have some real security gains in this next dispensation?
Oh, well, I like to say that it won't be fair if anybody says that we have not made serious gains on the issue of addressing our security challenges. I like to remind us that before this government came into being, that either 14 or 17 local governments of this country was exercised from Nigeria. And the flags of ISIS or Boko Haram, whatever, was flown in these areas, and they had their governments. It is not story. It is the truth about what happened, about the state of insecurity in Nigeria. There was sporadic bombings every day before this government came into office. And this government came into office. Yes, I agree with you. We made security one of our cardinal promises. Then this government came into office and fought the issue of insecurity. As we speak, no inch of Nigerian soil is under the control of anybody other than this government. The 774 local governments of this nation is under the control of the leadership of this country. Now, I agree with you. There are sporadic, once in a while we have attacks from Boko Haram. But the truth is that Boko Haram has been sufficiently degraded.
But ISIS is gaining ground.
We cannot lose sight of that fact. And you must understand one thing, that because of the dynamic nature of life, these issues, there may be new security challenges, there may be new security threats. But the important thing is, the important question here is government addressing it? And the answer is yes. Government is doing everything to ensure that we address these challenges as they come up. These challenges certainly will come, even in developed democracies, even in civilized societies. You still have bomb attacks. You still have security challenges. But the point is that government is conscious of this fact, and government is also conscious of its responsibility to the citizenry, and is addressing this issue as they come up. Another thing you must understand is that today, the morale in the military is quite high. They are determined, they are committed, and they are working towards justifying the confidence we Nigerians have placed in them. And I must also commend them because of the sacrifices they are making. And I think this government has done very, very well in terms of security. However, it is not a one-off thing. There is still room for improvement, and that is why I said we'll consolidate on the gains. We'll continue to build on it until we get to a point where we will say we are sufficiently secure as a nation. And that is the determination of government, and that is the promises we have made. And I am confident we'll achieve that sometime.
All right. I know we're wrapping up now, but you did bring up the morale in the armed forces. Actually, one of the things that has been the biggest criticism of this government has actually been its lack of support for the armed forces and the fact that our armed forces are put in harm's way without the right equipment and without the right preparation. How do you sort of reconcile the fact that you're saying morale is high when we're getting word from the front line that our armed forces do not feel prepared and armed?
No, that's not correct. That is just absolutely not correct. I mean, absolutely not correct. This government has been providing arms, has been meeting up with the requirements of the armed forces, meeting up with the needs of the armed forces, and supporting and encourage them. And the Nigerian society, to a reasonable extent, have also been supportive and appreciative of what the military is doing. So if anybody comes to tell you that morale is low and they don't have the right equipment, that is not fair. I know that government has been providing the required equipment for the Nigerian armed forces to address the issue of insecurity.
All right. We hope to have you back on next week after the elections and see how you've consolidated some of your wins. In the meantime, we wish you all the best and see you soon. Thank you for being with us this morning, sir.
Thank you so very much. My pleasure as always. Thank you.
It's time now for a short break. When we return, we'll be joined from our Rise Abuja studio by security expert Kabir Adamu to speak on what must be done in Nigeria's forthcoming governorship and state assembly elections to avert a repeat of the alarming security lapse of last week. Stay with us.